Hey, grab your favorite cup and pull up a chair. I'm Jess, and welcome to the Empress. If life feels a little loud right now, take a breath. You're in the right place. You know how sometimes you need a tarot reader and sometimes you need a therapist? Well, here you get both. I'm mixing the behavioral science from my clinical background with the intuition of the tarot to help you simplify the chaos. Let's make some magic. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome everybody to the month of June. We made it. We made it to June. Ah, May is behind us. What a time. What a wild ride we're on together. Let's get into the cards. I've got them here with me. You'll hear them shuffling in the background. We're at the magician's table, and our first card is going to be about the vision. So, what is it that we are trying to construct this month? What is the vision, the vibe? Ooh, the Ace of Cups. What a lovely card. Ace of Cups is connected to water energy. We're saying yes to things. We are constructing a world where we're tapping into our creativity, feeling optimistic about things, which can be challenging, let me tell you, when there's a whole lot of craziness going on. But I think the key to having a cup that you have, like that you're pouring out of, is to have really good self care and really good boundaries. I think creativity comes and goes, like it ebbs and flows, is what I meant to say. So we don't want to force ourselves to be creative. Sometimes it doesn't really work, but I feel like having some structure and some things we're tapping into that help us maintain our connection to creativity is important. For example, I like to watercolor. I think I've told you guys that before. I journal not every day, but like almost every day, just so I can stay in touch with my inner thoughts and feelings on certain things. I do consider that creative. I think everybody also has a different idea of what creativity is. I think that spreadsheets can be creative. There's creative ways to collect data. Some people think, oh no, creativity is only like the arts and music and things like that, but I don't think so. The Ace of Cups is also the card of intuition. And if we are listening to our intuition, that means we're creating the space to slow down and to hear our senses. Maybe the intuitive feelings we get, it's not like a sound that our throat makes. If it's like, or it can be intuition. Sometimes it's even deeper and quieter than that. It's like a gut reaction to something that can be intuition. And again, coming from a place where we're pouring out of means we are making the space to be able to fill up our cup so that we can give, so that we can hear our intuition, so we can share our creativity. So maybe the month of June is about saying yes to yourself, saying a little bit more yes to you, and letting that be okay, because that can be scary, right? When we say yes to ourselves, it means we're saying no to something else or someone else. And if we've been conditioned to say yes to everyone but ourselves, it feels deeply, deeply uncomfortable when we start saying yes to us, to what we want. So if you're new to that space, and if saying yes feels a little bit anxiety inducing, I want you to know that just because there's anxiety around saying yes to yourself doesn't mean that saying yes to yourself is the wrong thing. That's not evidence that you're going in a wrong direction. Just remember when you're changing cycles, when you're changing the way that you function, when you're changing your worldview, it's change, and change brings about a sense of discomfort. And for most of us, that discomfort is anxiety inducing. So these things all go hand in hand. Sometimes we just need to language them so we can understand how those puzzle pieces fit together. Let's see. Let's go to our second card, the resource. What's the specific skill or mindset required? The tool on the magician's table, right? What is it? The star card. The star card is in the inverted position. I'm going to take a sip of my tea real quick. This is ruled by Aquarius. It has deep feeling, but it's not always living in those deep feelings. I think Aquarius can be pegged as like disconnected from feeling, but I don't think that's true. I just don't think that they're dwelling in their feelings as much as like some other signs might. When the star card is in the reverse position, this is all about having faith in yourself. Sometimes having faith in the outer world is just like not a thing because we've been let down by so many people, or we're looking at systems and how they're not supporting us collectively. And we're like, I have no faith left in this stuff. Okay. Well, can you put that faith in yourself? The mindset is that you can follow through for you. I think that's really important because when we have faith in ourselves, we're going to put action behind that sense of faith. And maybe the action is small, and maybe that's the whole point. The mindset is I can take small action in meaningful ways. I have faith in myself. I have faith that I'll show up. I have faith that I'll figure this out. I know faith is different than confidence. And I can probably do a little research after this to see how they're different. But I think that there's a sense of like security in both of those because it really does mean that your like strength is in something greater than just again like what's outside of you. It's what's within that matters, right? So the specific skill is developing this self-trust. And how do we develop self-trust? We line up the things that matter to us. So we get really clear about what is within our value system. We get even clearer about what we can and cannot control. And then we focus on what we can control and we take action in alignment with our value system. And we can, like I said, take really small action. I think a lot of times when people are repairing trust with themselves, they want to take these big action steps. And if our nervous system isn't capable of holding the small action steps, we're going to really struggle to have follow through with the big action steps. And that can actually backfire because if we go to do the big thing, but we're not ready for it, we don't have that inner trust built, then we back away. And then we reinforce the negative pattern of like, oh my God, but I can't trust myself. So we actually end up doing a little bit more harm than good. And so on the day to day in the month of June, I want you to show up for yourself. I want you to have trust in yourself that you can get all the things on your to-do list done to the best of your ability. This isn't about doing everything on the to-do list 100%. This isn't about responding to every trigger with grace. This isn't, about being a perfect human being. This is just like trusting yourself to navigate things with what you've got to the best of your ability. And I think sometimes when we've got those big things, it feels really, really hard. So the wisdom here is to just break those things down into smaller steps and then show up little by little, day by day. And the thing with that too is it goes back into the Ace of Cups because you're not using so much energy. You're not using all of your inner resources to take those big steps and to like hold the container of that higher level of self-trust. You are maintaining your energy so it's sustainable in those small steps often. And that just is like a really beautiful, positively reinforcing cycle to be in. I want that for everybody. So the spark, the action, the catalyst to get it all moving is the Four of Swords in the upright position. Meditation, solitude, relaxation, contemplation. I love the Four of Swords. Take a nap. Take a nap. I have been napping. I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I go through phases where I'll nap like every day for like a month, and then I won't nap for a while, and then I'll go back to napping. But look, maybe June is a little bit of a napping month for everybody. I'm into that for sure. Um, this is also ruled by an air sign, just like the Aquarius, but this is connected to Libra, the Four of Swords. And so here we're like weighing all of the different things. This is a contemplation, right? We are sitting with what it is we want to do in an intentional and thoughtful way. So again, kind of like what I mentioned earlier, but like getting clear on the value system, on what matters to you is so important, because when we have people around us and we have jobs where, we're on teams, we've got a boss, or we just like, have a lot of people around us, there's competing, that's not a word. There's competitive priorities. Everyone is going to want their priority to be your priority. And if we're in this space together, you and me, we're probably a little bit more of the sensitive folks who can tune into everybody else's stuff. But again, sometimes we somehow just magically erase our needs and put them on the back burner and then absorb everybody else's priorities. But then the whole day goes by and we might realize we're in a pattern of like putting everyone else's needs first. And then, oh, well, my to-do list is still here. And I can either stay up late and do my to-do list. I can forego doing it altogether and push it off until tomorrow, whatever. These things, they erode self-trust. And so if we're building self-trust, it's saying no to the things that are everyone else's priorities and saying yes to what matters to us. How do we talk about this in a nuanced way, right? Now, someone's lack of planning is not your emergency. This is something we can all remember. I think, especially if we've got coworkers that tend to be in constant emergencies, or we have that friend that's always in need, and they end up just kind of draining the battery, your personal battery. That's a good time to exercise the no, the not now, the let me look at my schedule and I'll get back to you, all that type of stuff, because people need to learn how to handle their business. And you can be a part of that learning lesson by reinforcing a no, I'm not available for doing this. Other nuanced examples, your partner is having a really bad day and they're requiring a little bit more emotional tending to, and you're running a little bit low on your battery, and your priority is to fill up your cup, but you love your partner. How do you do this? Hey there, coffee lovers. Are you tired of settling for boring coffee? I have a treat for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Heartwork Coffee Bar, your one-stop destination for exceptional coffee experiences. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just someone who appreciates a great cup of joe, Heartwork Coffee Bar is here to elevate your coffee game to new heights. At Heartwork Coffee Bar, they take pride in their craft because each batch is carefully roasted to perfection, ensuring that every sip is a symphony of flavor. From the rich and the robust to the light and fruity, they have a coffee blend for every palate. And here's the best part. For you amazing podcast listeners, Heartwork Coffee Bar is offering an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Just use the code Empress10 at checkout and you'll save big on your order. Why settle for ordinary when you can indulge in the extraordinary coffee from Heartwork Coffee Bar? Remember to use code Empress10 for that special 10% discount and treat yourself to the coffee experience that you deserve. Don't miss out on this fantastic offer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks to Heartwork Coffee Bar for making today's episode possible. Now go grab your favorite mug, brew a fresh cup, and enjoy the podcast with the perfect companion, Heartwork Coffee Bar. Cheers. What do we do here in these scenarios? Oh, you might have heard my dog coughing in the background. He's drinking water and slightly choking. He'll be fine. He's such a mess. He's so cute. How do we do this? We just explain where we're at. It's like, hey, I'm listening to you. I want to listen to you, but my battery's a little bit low. So if you have the bandwidth to maybe repeat yourself a couple times, or if you want to just, we can both rest and then we can come back to this. And when I'm fully rested, I would love to hear you. Kind of just checking in with like, are we assuming what their needs are, or do we really know what they need? And can we advocate for ourselves in the middle of this as well? Sometimes we can also just say, like, I love you and I'm so tired. Being a good partner means being available to show up for you. And right now, like, I just can't show up for you. And it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. Look, if you want me to show up at like 10%, I can do that. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm here for that. If you want me to show up at 90%, I have to sleep first, or I need to go hit my journal. I need to clear my own mind first because I can't get in my own head. I have to get out of my way before I can be available for you. Communication is key. It's really, really important. But I think, again, speaking about how we do things in a nuanced way matters. A lot of times when I listen to podcasts or I've seen people talk about things online, they don't give examples of the nuance. They just say, like, do this thing, and then that's it. And there's no clear way to navigate what they're saying. I hope this has been clear. I hope it's been a good example, a few good examples for you. He's still coughing. My gosh, Wilson. Wilson's a little one who's choking out right now, apparently. If I were to put all three of these together, the Ace of Cups, the Star reversed, and the Four of Cups, I really feel like it's like, yeah, like trust. Trust is built moment to moment. Trust that we can navigate the ups and downs that every day brings, all the things that we prepared for and didn't prepare for, all the little things that can drive us off course, all the big things that can totally destabilize us. When we're building trust in the small ways, we will be well resourced to handle the big things. So don't make the mistake of thinking that every single way you build self-trust is through huge steps and big, like, showboaty things. No, they're really so much of like, oh, I said I was going to go on a walk today. Well, am I tired? Yes. Okay, well, what do I have in the tank? I've got low battery. Okay, so let me just do a 10-minute walk. I said I was going to eat well today, but I don't have anything in the fridge. Oh no, what can I do? Oh, I can make myself a protein shake. Okay, I'll make myself a protein shake. You know, instead of reaching for like chicken nuggets around the corner or whatever, like the small ways that we build trust are so, so, so important. And like I said, for so many of us, oh my God, like our lives, the cord of trust has been severed, and it hasn't even been anyone's, like, you can't really point a finger to one. Maybe you can point a finger to one person in particular who like cut that cord of self-trust that you had. But I find it is like society at large that tells us not to listen to ourselves. It's many, many, many people in the journey of our life that reinforces that they know better than we know, and that they have the answers and we don't have the answers. And I think, there's like times when that makes sense. Again, nuanced conversation. Is a doctor going to have answers that I don't have? Probably. Like about medical stuff. Yeah, I didn't go to medical school. So of course they're going to have a better sense of what's going on than I might. Um, but I mean, when it comes to like your intuition and that self trust of just like being able to say yes to what matters, saying no to what doesn't, to follow through with what you want and to uphold your values, to have a backbone, it's so important in a world where I think everybody is just getting trampled over and toppled over and swayed this way and that way. What is it that you're standing on? You know, are you standing on your internal truth? You know, what matters to you, or what everybody else told you matters or should matter to you. And I think it's so loud when we're online. Um, everybody's got an opinion, but it doesn't mean you have to listen to it. And it doesn't mean that it's a good opinion. It's just an opinion. And so, what do you want to focus on? What do you want to focus on in the month of June? What do you want to renew? What do you want to bring life into? What do you want to pour your creativity into? Again, let it just be for you. Let it be something. And like the other thing too is like if pouring into yourself makes you the best version of yourself, so that way you can love the world around you, love the people in the world around you, be the best mom, be the best wife, be the best dog mom, be the best teacher, employee, whatever, then like that's amazing. Do that. Being the best version of yourself is a really, really cool thing to do. I mean, you don't have to do more than that. You can just be the best version of yourself. You can just be a kind, empathetic person. How amazing. Like that can be your responsibility. And carving your way through that this month requires rest, contemplation, and repairing anywhere some of that trust is broken. I want to talk a little bit more about the broken trust when it comes to self abandonment, because I have also seen that in the star reverse. And I think it's important to talk about it from that angle as well. I touched on it in the context of how it applies to the magician's table with like the skill, the resource, right? Some of us are arriving to the conclusion that we've abandoned ourselves time and time again for the sake of other people, for making sure that everybody else is okay and that we don't even have to think about ourselves, or like we're quote unquote okay with putting ourselves last. And I think there's a lot of grief that comes up when we're having that realization, because it means that we haven't been taking care of ourselves in the best way. You know, being able to show up for other people is really an incredible thing. And if we want to do it long term, there will be a reckoning. And that reckoning will be, hey, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help other people. You can't keep depriving yourself of the basics and think that that's a sustainable strategy. That will come crashing down. And for a lot of us, what comes crashing down are the realities that we've built from putting ourselves on the back burner. And that can be careers, that can be relationships, that can be all those things simultaneously. Um, and if you're there, I just want to say that you can repair the trust. Like abandoning yourself is really just it's a pattern that can be changed, and you learned to abandon yourself, like I mentioned before, from the people around you, from the systems that we're in. It's always about putting everybody else first and the almighty dollar first and all these things. And then it's just like, what's left for you? Well, don't worry about that. But I am telling you to think about it. And self connection is then the opposite of self abandonment, right? Like choosing yourself is how you repair that. So it's going to be messy. It's not going to always make sense. And when you're also letting your intuition come online, the pull like the physical body pull, the somatic connection you have with your body to do certain things, it doesn't always make sense. And that's actually a part of trusting your intuition and also repairing self trust and self connection. It's not about making sense. You have to understand from everybody else's perspective, right? Everyone's outside of you telling you what to do. This is going to work. This is going to be the best thing for you. Go this way. Don't go that way, whatever. Um, but you get to do it your way. If you're over the age of 18, you're considered an adult in the United States of America. Therefore, you do whatever the hell you want. You get to make adult decisions. And with that come adult consequences. So, again, get really clear about what your values are, what matters to you, and think about how someone who lives in alignment with their values behaves. Think about the daily actions that they take, and then literally start acting like the person you want to be, living in that value system. It means choosing yourself. It means choosing yourself when other people don't understand you, when other people don't like it. But I'll tell you something, and this is a personal lesson that I've learned. The people that love me the most have only really ever encouraged me to choose myself and to choose what lights me up because they know me and they know that when I am doing something that I love and I'm passionate about it, or I'm in alignment with it and I feel just generally satisfied with it or good about it, that they're benefited by that. You know, that I have so much to pour out into my life. They see that and they're like, "Well, of course I want that for you." So observe who wants you to be winning and who gets a little bit upset that you know, you want to put back into yourself. Not everyone's going to like it. That's okay. All you got to do is observe, make some decisions later. But I hope that this reading for the month of June gives you some direction about what you're building, repairing, a life of trusting yourself, listening to your intuition, the mindset. You can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to figure it out. If you get into a mess, you can figure that out too. Step by step, little by little. And it is really little steps. They matter. And contemplation is the name of the game. Sit with what you want to do, outline that stuff daily. It's very practical. I think again, when people are thinking of repairing their intuition, there's this concept that maybe there's like this big magical thing that happens. Nope, it's like any other thing in life. It requires repetition, attention, perseverance. That's magic, especially when everybody wants a shortcut. So I hope that this reading supports you, and I will see you next month. Bye.